All right, thanks for tuning into Kerr Outdoors today. Hey, today I wanted to do a quick review on something that I've heard a lot about, and I've never quite tried it myself. It's a lower-end optic. It's about $20 in the $20 to $30 range. It's a FieldSport Micro Red Dot. And if you are interested in shooting sports at all, you may have heard of this before. But I've never tried one of these, so I went ahead and ordered one, and I just wanted to give you an honest review of it. So let's go ahead and open this up and give you a quick rundown. It just comes with looks like some basic instructions. Now these instructions look very similar to that other red dot that I tried out on this channel that would not hold up to the 7.62 by 39 rifle that I had, and it just kept skipping on and off. So the fact that these instructions look almost exactly similar doesn't really fill me with a lot of hope. Looks like you've got a little Allen key right there. Looks like it comes with the battery already in there. So we'll go ahead and put that in a second. It's just packaged in some foam and pretty simple. Doesn't have an additional mount with it or anything. It's got this little cover, and it just looks extremely similar to the other one that we tried out, but we'll give it a shot. Kind of see you've got your elevation and windage. It's marked FieldSport to indicate that it's going to be awesome. And see if we can get this to turn on. Oh, we don't have the battery in yet, so let's go ahead and put the battery in. Alright, so we've gone ahead and put the battery in here. And now if you look here, it has the brightness level. This one goes to 11, if you know what I mean. Anyway, when you look at this, see if we can look through here. Oh, there we go. There is the red dot. You can kind of see it looks kind of bright actually through the camera. So maybe this will work well. We'll see if after firing about 100 rounds through this, it'll skip off and on or not. So I'm just going to attach this to a UTG mount, and I'm going to put it on the same gun I used on the other Iron J red dot sight that broke, and we'll see if this one holds up to 100 rounds of 7.62 by 39. And we got ahead and got this mounted up to my 7.62 by 39 upper, and we're going to see if this thing can withstand the recoil of the 7.62 by 39. I know lots of people have reviewed these, and it looks like they've held up to a 223 or a 5.56, but we'll go see if it can stand up to something with a little bit more stopping power. So let's go ahead and take this to the range and see how she does. Alright, we're back from the range after testing out this FieldSport Micro Red Dot sight. Went ahead and attached this to my Palmetto State Armory upper, chambered in 7.62 by 39. And you can kind of see the difference between the 7.62 39 and a regular 223 or 5.56 type cartridge. So up here I've got, on the left-hand side, I've got the 7.62 by 39. That's this one right here on the left hand side, and you can kind of see that 7.62 by 39. 7.62 is actually just about a 30 caliber, so it's you can see the bullet is the bullet itself is this part right here. It's quite a bit different, quite a bit bigger, and it actually weighs more than twice as much as the 223 or 5.56, which you can see here on the right. And you can see that this 223 casing is just a lot thinner, and the projectile, the bullet itself, is a lot smaller than the 7.62 by 39 over here on the left. So you can imagine the 7.62 by 39 has a little bit more recoil than the 223. I actually shot about 200 rounds of this steel-cased ammunition using the FieldSport micro red dot sight, and I was a little bit worried at first because I did have a little bit of trouble getting it sighted in right off the bat. What I found was the adjustments seemed to be very sensitive and a little bit confusing because it seems like I just adjusted a couple of clicks or maybe a few clicks, and it would either go a lot farther than I thought it should as far as the point of impact, or it wouldn't go far enough. And so it was a little frustrating at first to go ahead and get this thing sighted in, this FieldSport micro red dot sight. Now, what I found that really helped, and the mistake I kind of made, is when I first started sighting it in, I cranked it all the way up to 11, okay? I set it on 11 power, and so I had the brightest light possible. And what I found is that when I turned it back down to a 1 or a 2 or maybe even a 3, that red dot sight became a lot more crisp, or the red dot became a lot more crisp and a lot easier to deal with as far as getting the sight on target. And I was sighting it in at 25 yards, so not that far. But with it turned down to a lower power, a lower setting, I was at an indoor range, obviously, as you could see from the video. It really made a difference, and I was able to get a much better idea about the adjustments that I was making, and I was able to get this thing sighted in. And I was originally only planning to shoot about 100 rounds through this, but I just wanted to make sure, and I actually went back a second day to the range, and I put nearly 200 rounds through this gun using this FieldSport red dot. And you know, it actually held zero very well. With this kind of cheap red dot, you're not going to get, you know, the sort of laser-like precision that you get from a scope or a higher end optic. But I was able, as you can see, maybe I'll put some pictures. I was able to get a reasonable grouping and hold zero. And I was a little bit worried because this gun has a little bit higher recoil than say your average 223 or 5.56 calibers, which would be commonly used in a rifle like this. So I think that it's a pass. And I'm kind of surprised because this FieldSport only cost me, I think I paid 20 bucks for it on Amazon. So it's very inexpensive. Now, I'm sure it's not the same kind of quality you'd find for something that was, you know, $120 or $200 by any means. And I hope to test some of those out here in the future. But for what it is, just an inexpensive way to get you down to the range and get you shooting and start practicing, I think it's a nice little red dot scope. Now, if I had to go ahead and rate this out of 5 stars, say, and maybe I'll leave her a review on Amazon, I think I would give it maybe 3.5, maybe 4 stars. The reason being that it was a little bit difficult at first to actually get it fine-tuned to where I wanted it to be. I'd get a nice tight grouping, but it would be down to one side of the paper, and then I try and adjust it back the other. You know, I try to adjust the windage back the other way, and it'd go clear off to the other side of the target. So that was a little hard to get nailed down at first. Because of that, because it was a little tricky to actually get sighted in, you know, maybe I'd knock that down a little bit. But for 20 bucks, and for the fact that it actually is holding zero after 200 rounds of 7.62 by 39, you know, I would recommend this if you're in the market for something like this. It definitely works for me. It's going to stay on this rifle. I'm excited to take it out rabbit hunting and maybe look for some coyotes as well with this. But we'll see. This is just an inexpensive option. So if you like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day and be safe.